If there's one game that most people could agree has essentially no sense of being quote-unquote SJW, it's Halo Infinite. But to no one's surprise, your usual anti-SJW grifting channels have jumped on yet another trending topic by calling it SJW. Because as we all know, if there's two groups of people on the internet with no dignity, it's both SJWs and anti-SJWs alike. Although if we're being honest, they've basically become the same thing at this point. Everything is racist to an SJW and everything is woke to an anti-SJW. And today we'll be looking at a video from a channel similar to the Quartering, in the sense that they'll find a way to call anything SJW, and this time they've decided to call Halo Infinite SJW because it doesn't feature specific gender options. Apparently if your futuristic shooter is futuristic, it's now SJW. I wouldn't even be surprised if this guy was one of the people calling Cyberpunk 2077 SJW when they removed specific gender options from the game. Bear in mind that the game does still technically feature gender options. They just aren't specifically called that, but instead called body types. I know, how truly traumatic. You'll never survive having to choose a body type over male or female. And this video from him is the perfect example of YouTubers blatantly dragging out videos to an unnatural degree. Most of his video isn't even on Halo Infinite, it's on COD Vanguard and Battlefield 2042, because he tried so hard to get the video to 8 minutes, and even with all the dragging out he did, the guy still failed to hit the 8-minute mark. If you guys do wonder why I've skipped over a small section of his video, it's because he barely talks about Halo Infinite. So without further delay, I'll let the video play.
Yesterday, out of nowhere, Microsoft dropped Halo Infinite's multiplayer. Now they're calling it a beta. I guess it's kind of limited in what you can do. I haven't played it yet, though I do have it downloaded.
Here's a truly wild idea. Maybe instead of making a video on Halo Infinite without even playing it, play it and give it a shot, because guess what? The game's free to play. So there is no risk to you trying the game out, like you say you want to do and what you will probably end up doing. And maybe instead of desperately trying to paint the game as SJW, play it, since during the time you were making this shitty video of yours, you undeniably could have played enough of the game to realize this isn't an issue, or remotely SJW.
I have it downloaded on my Xbox and on my PC because it's available in Steam as well as Xbox platforms. So you can literally play it on everything but a PlayStation. Everything but a PlayStation.
Congratulations, you know what Xbox exclusive means. Now please, for the love of God, get to the fucking point of the video already.
And I like that it's free to play. I mean, this could potentially be a really big game. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Battlefield 2042, a lot of reports saying that it's been a disaster. I've seen pictures of bodies with no arms or heads, and it's like it's like a pair of eyes and teeth holding a gun. It looks bad.
Once again, this has literally nothing to do with the video title or the video topic. Shut the fuck up and get to the goddamn point already, because frankly it doesn't take a genius to figure out that a major reason as to why Halo Infinite is as successful as it currently has been is thanks to how much of a shit show Battlefield 2042 and COD Vanguard are, which you mention in a second. However, I'm definitely going to skip past some of that shit because it has nothing to do with the video and is simply there to drag out watch time. I'm not even joking when I say this, but the guy goes on a rant about Battlefield 2042 and COD Vanguard for around 2.5 minutes, but somehow still didn't hit the 8-minute mark. Like, how the fuck are you gonna stretch your video out this much and still fail to hit it? I didn't even realize that was possible.
They put a disastrous launch out there, and of course the game is running like shit. And as you can see, it's apparently, according to this person's own experience, worse on Xbox Series X, which from what I understand is the platform that they're trying to push for the game. So, who's running good right now? Halo Infinite. From what I understand, it's not really giving anybody too much of a problem because they've really done their homework on this to make sure it runs.
Although I do definitely agree that the optimization for Halo Infinite on Xbox consoles is fantastic, the PC side of things is horrendously bad. Nowhere near on the same levels as Battlefield 2042 bad, but still very, very bad. And if you actually played the game, you would have known this. There are lots of issues with the PC port whenever you run the game above 60 FPS, and this is something you could have legitimately criticized the game for if you played it. But instead you decided to do the usual thing I see with channels like YellowFlashes and pull some bullshit bullshit in order to call something woke. And if you guys want a more in-depth look at the optimization for the PC port, then I'll be giving you in this video. Then go watch my Halo Infinite multiplayer review and skip to the parts where I talk about optimization.
I will probably be streaming the game and trying it out later. So come and hang out. I'm really looking forward to playing this. What I'm not looking forward to, though, is if they're going to make the game woke or not. Now, this is something not a lot of people are talking about.
That's probably because it's not even a remotely big deal and most people don't give a fuck. All that 343 has done is remove the pronouns male/female and replace them with a body type slider with no names for the different body type options in the menus. Literally the definition of a non-issue. Nothing to do with this was politicized by 343 themselves, but it was politicized by people like YellowFlash and sites like Polygon. I mean, goddamn, all the slider does is change the torso of your Spartan. It takes a certain level of idiocy to politicize a goddamn torso shaped slider, because let's be real, that's all it is. In the Master Chief Collection, Halo 2 doesn't have gender options, it has species options. This is not 343 being woke. But before we continue with the rest of the video, I would love to talk to you guys about a product BenQ were kind enough to send out to me for free. Now I know what you're probably thinking, and no, I am not getting paid for this, and even if I was, that wouldn't sway my opinion of a company's product into a positive light, unless I genuinely thought the product was good, and I do genuinely think that BenQ ScreenBar is a great product. The eye saver mode in their gaming light is far better for me than the inbuilt eye saver mode in my monitor, which doesn't at all help my eyes. In fact, it blinds me in the dark, unlike the space saving monitor light BenQ sent me, which has a genuinely useful eye saver mode. Especially when making this video, the eye saver mode was more than helpful to reduce the eye strain I experienced when making my longer styled content, and considering the light bar is more aimed towards non-curved monitors, it works incredibly well with my curved monitor. I had no issues with installing it as well. The instructions on the box were more than clear, and the only complaint I have is that the top of the screen bar is slightly easy to scratch. However, I think a reason as to why I scratch it was mainly down to my own fault. All in all, BenQ's light bar is more than worth the money, and I encourage all of you to go down to the description and visit their Amazon page or their official website for more information if you use your computer for extended periods of time and experience some level of eye strain. But with that out of the way, I'll let the rest of the video continue.
But I still think it's worth bringing up. So, Halo Infinite multiplayer gets rid of gender. Basically, you just now choose heavy armor or light armor and a voice.
Holy shit, they added more voice options compared to the Master Chief Collection. How will you ever survive? I mean, 343 couldn't get more woke if they tried. I have no idea how I'll figure out if one of the voice options sounds like a man or a woman.
Spartans across the spectrum are welcome on this battlefield.
You've gotta love how easily triggered people like YellowFlash are, and how desperate they are to pretend like everything is woke or SJW. You're reading a Polygon article which was probably done on purpose, due to the fact that Polygon are very obviously left-leaning. And guess what? If he didn't use an article with some honestly cringy yet funny statements like Spartans across the spectrum are welcome on this battlefield, there's no way in hell anyone would buy his bullshit on Halo Infinite being even remotely woke for this.
So, at the end of the day, is this going to ruin the game for you? Probably not. But it's still kind of annoying that all of these game devs are bending to this shit.
If it angers you that much, then you need help, I'm not gonna lie. This shouldn't be able to even slightly annoy you. It is a complete non-issue. No one is removing your option to have a male or female Spartan. All that's happening is that the pronouns aren't specifically there. And for someone who would usually say that they don't care about someone's pronouns, I find this highly ironic. And honestly pretty hilarious at the same time.
What is the problem? You could have had 3 types. Why didn't you just do female, male, no option or something?
Because there's basically no difference. The only difference is that the names aren't there. You are desperate to cry about anything, and it's honestly quite pathetic. What exactly is the problem with them having a slider for torso shapes instead of having an option for male and female bodies? Because I had the feeling he wouldn't be able to answer that question, simply due to the fact all he's been doing is complaining about something without saying why that something is bad. I also have a feeling the closest thing we get to an answer as to why this is a bad thing is it's SJW and not an actual explanation.
Like, you could have done that. I don't even think most people would have cared, but no, we're just gonna get rid of male female completely. it's just kind of annoying to me that this is done, and it's like nothing escapes it anymore. And mark my words, people will find something to complain about here. Well, why don't you get a pronoun with the body armor or something?
My god, the lack of self-awareness is truly brilliant. People will find a way to complain about something here. Meanwhile, he's doing exactly that. Complaining about something that isn't an issue, and something in the past 5 minutes or so hasn't been able to explain why it's bad or even why it's a small issue.
So, yeah, see, I don't know what they're calling it. This is obviously the female body type. Look at, like, got the hips swayed to the side there and stuff.
That's a fucking stance, not a body type. You didn't even need to play the game to figure that out. It is directly in front of you.
It's like, come on. I've chosen the smallest body type for my Spartan and a feminine voice. I haven't played enough multiplayer yet to have unlocked all of the poses available. After all, Halo Infinite's multiplayer only just launched, but I felt happy to see that every pose is available for every player, regardless of their Spartan's body type. That means you can be a very muscular Spartan cooking their hip in the noble confidence pose.
Jesus Christ, that was painful to listen to. If you're going to mock someone's article, at least mock the cringy parts, not the parts where there are no issues. They were just talking about how they were going to customize their Spartan and how they are glad that you can also customize your Spartan using poses regardless of their body types. Something that I don't remember any game doing, but even so, there is no issue with what they said in that extract. You're calling it stupid and saying it isn't a big deal, and yet you've made an entire video crying about it.
This is so stupid. Like, I get it. It's not a deal breaker, right? I still want to play this game, but it's just like, come on, man. You really want to appeal to Polygon? They're not going to sell this game for you.
You're acting as if they need Polygon to sell the game. Spoiler alert, they don't, and never have. The gaming community is already selling the game for them in most cases. The majority of people love Halo Infinite, and when it comes to how to sell the game, word of mouth is working like a charm for it.
I don't know if anything else is bad in this game. I can't wait to play the campaign, because I really wonder, okay, is that going to be a disaster full of, like, woke stuff? We'll see.
I'm not quite sure how they could implement woke stuff into a Halo campaign, to be honest. Like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Make Master Chief non-binary? We both know that isn't going to happen, and we both know 343 knows they don't have enough room to fuck up the campaign. Plus, from what I've played of the campaign, it is great. Now the rest of YellowFlash's video is in plug-in merch, which means we have finally come to the end of his video, which means we have also come to the end of my video. So with all that being said, please do not forget to do all the things YouTubers love to beg you to do, aka check out my Discord server, follow me on Twitter, as well as like, comment and subscribe. So that will see you all in the next video.